Welcome to this past paper. It's the CBT Language Arts paper for grade 6, and that's PEP 6 2026. I would have done the math. Go back and watch it if you have not. Having watched this language arts, then look out for the 2026 mental ability test. Alright, so you're watching Learning with Teacher M. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Here are the instructions. There are 60 items on this test. Each has only one correct answer. Read each item carefully, select the correct response, then shade the corresponding letter of the answer you choose on the answer sheet provided. Read the notice below carefully, then use the information to answer items 1 to 5. Are you ready? Type "I'm ready" in the comment. Let's go. Here is the notice. It says, "This is to advise you, our loyal customers, that this location will be permanently closed on September 30, 2024. We will be moving to our new location, more spacious location on Ward Avenue on October 7, 2024, where we will be able to serve you even better. We are grateful for the opportunity to have served you for the past 21 years. We apologize for any inconvenience that this closure may cause. We are, however, advising that you may continue to use our automated teller machines, which are ATMs, at these other locations. There's one at New Green. Sorry. Oh Lord, I don't need that. Alright, so there's one at New Green. Not New Green. Hold on. Got messed up. New Caledonia Mall in Mandeville. You have Main Street, Mandeville. New Brunswick, Mandeville. New Green in Mandeville. So we're taking it that where they're moving from and going to would be close to these areas. Alright. Signed by Oliver Hosha Hennessy. Alright. I hope I'm pronouncing that correct, but I don't think they're asking for pronunciation in PEP. September 25, 2024. Let's go to number 1, or item 1. It says, "What is the date of the notice?" And we just read that at the end. It is September 25, 2024. So the answer is A. Alright, moving on to number 2. Oliver O'Shaw Hennessy is most likely who? A says is the person reading the notice. B, a concerned citizen. C, the manager. D, a customer. He is the manager. C. Number 3. Where was this notice most likely posted? Alright, since it has to do with banking, you're in ATMs and all of these, it's most likely posted at a bank. Which best describes the purpose of the notice? The company's doing what? A says they're going out of business. B says they're relocating to a larger place. C says trying to attract more customers. D says trying to relocate to be closer to other business. The answer is B. They're going to a larger place, relocating to a larger place. Number 5, and this is the last one for that passage. Remember, if you're not remembering what options to select, then you should go back to the passage and read to help you better select. Alright? Which conclusion can best be drawn from the second paragraph of the notice? Alright, so let's look at the second paragraph. Let's look at it. So we have paragraph 1, paragraph 2. Alright, so we apologize for any inconvenience that this closure may cause. We are, however, advising that you may continue to use our automated teller machines, ATMs, at these other locations, and the locations are there. So let's go down and look at number 5. It says, which conclusion can best be drawn from the second paragraph of the notice? A says, after September 25, 2024, the business will no longer exist. It's going to exist just elsewhere, so not A. B says, and it's not in paragraph 2 that you have that. B says, the business is grateful to have had loyal customers over the years. C says, sufficient notice was given to customers about the closure of the location. D, the business has ATMs that are close to the location that is closing down. The answer is D. Those list of locations are there. Alright, moving on to items 6 to 10, where we have to use this JUTC bus routes or routes. It says, examine the table with the JUTC bus routes shown below, then use it to answer items 6 to 10. So here you have them. I want to make it as small as possible so you can see all of it. Might be too small for you now, but let's go. Just have a little look here. Then we'll have to come back and browse through to find what we need based on the questions asked. So here it is. Have a look. Can we move on now? All right, moving on to items 6 to 10. How many routes have downtown as a final stop? Final stop now, so you're looking for destination. All right, final stop. So destination, and we're looking for downtown. We're seeing Papine, downtown is one right here. One downtown. Let's see if we're seeing any more. Another downtown, that's 2. Let's see if there's any more. Another downtown, that's 3. Alright. So we're seeing 3 downtown. That would be C for number 6. Moving on to number 7. Which of the following buses does not travel on a highway? So here we have them. Which one is not on a highway? Doesn't travel on a highway. So we're looking for buses and we're looking for the words highway. Alright? Via is where they travel. So going by highway. So let's look to see. Let's get those that don't go by highway. We have 1 for Portmore. We have 19, not a highway. So not a highway. Not a highway. Not a highway. That one is highway. This is highway. Highway. This one is not a highway. This one is not a highway. So let's see. We have 511 EX. EX is express. We have, oh Lord, this one is all messed up. Can't see the digit for this one. Alright, let's go again. So this one, 520 express, not a highway. 27 is not. 13 is not, and 19 is not. So let's see if we can remember them. From what we're seeing up there, 620, we don't have that. We don't have those. 27 is it. Then you can scroll back and look. So the answer for 7 is B. Number 8. How many buses operate as express service? EX, express. EX is express. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 so far. Let's go up. We have 5, 6. Let's see if there's any more. So we have 6 buses operating as express. So 6 is at B, number 8 is B. Alright, if you have not liked, subscribed, and made any comment yet, remember the rule. Go ahead and do so. How many you think you would have gotten so far? Number 9. Which destination appears most frequently? Destination, where they're going. Destination. So which one we're seeing most frequently? Number 9. Let's look. Papin. So Spanish down halfway tree. Alright, we don't need to look any further. We're seeing halfway tree as the major. That's the most popular. So let's go up to 9, and number 9 is D, halfway tree. Halfway tree is there more than any other one. Number 10. To which group of persons is the bus route list most useful? So who would want to be focusing on the bus routes? Most likely passengers. Number 10 is D. So that's it for that bus route. Guys, it's a lot of reading. Wow, students, you have to be reading. You have to be reading. Seriously now, this calls for a lot of reading. Please, if you are wasting time, ensure you're taking up your books and read. Just read anything. Just read. Age appropriate now. Just read. This calls for a lot of reading. What if you're a person who does not read well? Then this could pose a challenge for you. So far, I'm seeing that it's quite a bit of reading in this exam. All right. Read the passage carefully. Then use it to answer items 11 to 20. Miss May. Miss May was our grade 5 teacher at Independence City Primary School. What's the name of your school, by the way? She was a tall, slender woman with a round face and natural reddish afro hair. She had a smile that could light up a room. However, she was very strict and demanded that her homework be completed on time. Do you know any teacher like that one? Before she became my teacher, she had previously taught at grades 6, 4, and 3 at my school. So if she did grade 6, grade 4, and grade 3, you're looking at some years under her belt, and it has not said how many years she did at each of those. So you know, minimum 3 years gone. She taught my older brother when he was in grade 6. She was exceptionally good at explaining area, perimeter, ratio, some say ratio, and fractions to us. She was also very good at teaching science, social studies, and language arts. So she was a good teacher, all-rounded. So you're hearing maths, language, science, social. So she was good at those 4. I got better at fractions while I was in her class. So maybe she could be struggling with fractions, all right? But more importantly, she really cared about all the children in her class. Those who were A students, those who were still learning to read, those who were new, who wore new uniforms, those who had buttons missing from their uniforms, those who were present every day, and those who sometimes missed school. She gave everyone equal amounts of love and expected all of us to do well in school. Good teacher. And this is why I look forward to going to school every day. Why I looked forward, so it's in the past. This is why I looked forward to going to school every day. Question 11. At what kind of school was Miss Mary teaching? Alright, we remember it's a primary school, but if you don't remember, always go back to your passage. Which paragraph describes opposite sides of Miss May's personality. All right, opposite sides, telling you different things about her. Opposite sides of her personality. All right, let's look. She was also very good at teaching. Let's number the paragraphs just in case we need to come back to them. So this is 1, 2, 3. This is 4. And we have the little 5 down here. All right, so let's see which one gives you about her personality. After she had a smile that moreover she was very strict and before she this is telling you about her skills in paragraph 3. Paragraph 4 is telling you about the nature of her. All right, so I would say paragraph 1. Let's look at where paragraph 1 is. Paragraph 1 is at A. Hope you're understanding so far. Number 13. Who is telling the story about Miss May? All right, we know it's not another teacher. B says it's a student who is in her class now. Not at all. C says it's a principal. No, we know it's a past student, somebody who has gone on. What did the person telling the story like most about Miss May? A says that she had taught her older brother. No. B says she had taught at different grade levels. No. C says she loved the fact that she cared about her students. D, that she was very strict about homework. Most of all, she loved that she cared about her students. 15. Which best explains this saying? She had a smile that could light up a room, as in line 3. You can go back there if you don't remember. So what would she having a smile that could light up a room really mean? I would say A, Miss Brown was pleasant to be around. Insisting that you get your homework could mean a smile that is lighting up a room. No. Being good at math doesn't mean that. Reminding students to turn off the lights, not at all. The most appropriate is A. Number 16. Which topic in math presented a challenge for the person telling the story? Now we know it's fraction. Remember she said that's when she improved in fraction. Remember, students, to go back to the passage if the answer does not come readily for you as you go through. Go back to the passage to find your answer. Number 17. Where is the older brother? Likely to be no. Now, this would have to be that the boy is now in high school. That's D. Not in grade 4 because you would have taught him in grade 6. Not in Miss May's class. He's passed. Not in grade 6. No, this girl is up there. So the boy would now be in grade 6. Let's move on to number 18. How many different subjects was Miss May good at teaching? We would have done that from the start. She's good at math. Because you hear they never mentioned math, but you hear the algebra, the area, perimeter, and those. That's math. So she's good at math, science, social studies, and language arts. That's 4. Remember to go back to the passage if you don't remember readily. I am remembering, that's why I'm doing that. But for you, if you don't remember, go back to the passage. Number 19. Which paragraph has evidence that suggests that Miss May did not have a favorite student? All right, it would have to be that paragraph that says she cared about all the students and loved them equally, whether they wore new uniforms or had buttons missing, those who were present every day, or if you were absent, if you were A students or just learning to read. That's paragraph 4. So we would have numbered the paragraph. Paragraph 4. Let's find it. Paragraph 4 is at A. Not a bad paper, no, honestly. How did you find it if you have done the exam? If you have not done the exam and are preparing, how are you finding this 2026 PEP 6 CBT, same thing they call curriculum based language arts past paper, test paper, exam paper. How are you finding it? How did you find it? For me right now, I think it's a good paper. I ask you to do a lot of reading, but still a good paper. Number 20. For how long had Miss May been teaching at the school? Now she had done grade 6, 4 and 3 and currently teaching. So it can't be less than a year, can't be at least 2 years, not 1 year. It has to be B, which says at least 3 years, a minimum of 3 years. Oh Lord, another set of reading, guys. You have to read. Develop a liking and a love for reading. Read. These exams are asking that you do a lot of reading. Practice. Alright? Examine the movie schedule for Good Times Cinema below. Then use it to answer items 21 to 26. Good Times Cinema movie schedule. Alright, gonna have you look at it a little, examine it. Might not be seeing all of it, but if I make it smaller, still might not be able to read it. So let's go. Too small, no. So let's go. Look from here and then I'll scroll up. You can observe the movie, the names of the movie in this column. The date, our showing date. Start time is right here. Ticket price. PG rating, whether it's a children, adult only, or both. And the star here would be the rating. How do people rate these movies? Alright, so let's go. I hope you would have looked at it. I am going to move on. We will have to read and go back and verify. Which movie has the latest start time? So let's go to the time. Remember, we would have looked at the time. Start time is right here. So we see 5 and 8, 8, 9, 9, 15, 8:30, 8 p.m. So let's look at the movie that has the latest start time. We're seeing a 9:15. That's the latest I'm seeing there. 9:15. So let's see which movie is that. The Forest. Let's see which letter has the Forest. And that's B. So 21 is B. The Forest starts at 9:15. How many different movies will be shown in October? So let's find the date. So we're having 1 October. Let's use numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 already. 5. So we're seeing 5 October movies. Let's see which letter has 5. 5 is at B. 22 is B. 23. Which movie is least preferred? Now when you hear least preferred, you're looking at how people rate these movies. So look which one has the least amount of stars, or number of stars. So we're seeing 2 for this one. All the others have more than 2. So the least rated or least liked is the Mod Squad. Let's see where the Mod Squad is at. Mod Squad is at A. 23 is A. 24. How many movies have 2 showings? So let's go up to see how many of them shows up for twice. So let's see. Over here, let's look at the movie names. Mod Squad, Tour Aries, Wild Horse, Forest, that, Zootopia. Let's see how many of them are showing twice. Alright. Start time and date. Which number are we doing again? 24. How many movies have... Wait a bit. How many movies have 2 showings? 25. Alright, 2 showings. We have 5 and 8. That's 2 times. So this is 1. 5 and 8. This is another one. So that's 2. This is 3. That's 3 of them. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. And this one up top here, 4. So let's see which one has 4. Number 24. How many movies have 2 showings? It's at C. 4 of them have 2 times. Which movie has the second highest ticket price? Let's see the prices. We have a 15, a 17, 15,000, 16, 16. So 16,000, which is Tron Ares, have the second highest. 25. Tron Harris would be D. So 25 is D. Oh Lord, children, you have to love to read. Alright? Develop a liking. I'm begging you. Learning with Teacher M. Teacher M is begging you, asking you, develop a liking and a love for reading. Exams ask of you to read a lot. And you're seeing that in this paper. 26. Which movie is only for adults? Which movie? Only adults should be there. So let's look at the PG. That's what will tell you. PG rating. PG rating. Alright. 13 parents guidance. 13 parents must be there. Restricted. Restricted. 13. This must be there. That must be there. Alright. So the parents will have to be there for most of them, but you have some that are restricted. Which movie? Did it say movie or movies? Let's see. Number what? 25. 26. Which movie or movie? 26. Which movie is only for adults? Restricted. Restricted. But you have 2 years for restricted. Why? Oh, so you have Wild Horse and Forest. I need to look to see if both of them are there. That's where the trick is. Forest is not there, so it's Wild Horse. Wild Horse is restricted only for parents. Mighty. Mighty. Another good length of reading, students. Learn to love to read. Read the story carefully. Then use it to answer items 27 to 34. Remember, you're watching Learning with Teacher M. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. How have you done so far? Let me know. Alright, let's go. Shopping or shoppers fair. A lot of reading. Wow. Thank you. You were so polite and courteous. Thank you too, miss. Jimmy hurried back into the store. This means he was outside, and if he hurrying back and the lady saying thank you, maybe he would have taken something out there for her. So Jimmy hurried back into the store from the almost empty parking lot. The fresh smell of disinfectant Mr. Avery used to wipe the floor was welcoming. It was 10:15 in the morning. The supermarket had only been open for a little over 1 hour. So a little over 1 hour, 10:15, they would maybe start at 9. He took up his position behind the cashier and started to get ready to pack the next customer's bag. This customer only bought a tub of chiffon butter. So he quickly placed it in a paper bag and handed it to her. Mommy, me have something to ask you. How much time if I tell you? Say you must stop calling me mommy at work. Is Mrs. Williams okay? Okay, mommy. So this boy gone to work calling the cashier mommy, who is his mother, right? So she was saying something else, but the sound of the cash register drowned out her voice. She had begun to cash another customer. This customer had a lot of grocery in her trolley, so Jimmy had to get busy again. Spending summers helping his mother at work was an enlightening experience for him. He had learned how to quickly separate and pack groceries. He knew how to make the most of spaces in a shopping box or bag or box. And he was getting better faster each time. Quickly, Jimmy separated the meat, the bath soap and toiletries, and the cleaning products into different bags. He then began to pack them in a larger box or in a large box. But something was wrong. The customer could not find her credit card. Beads of sweat began to gather on her forehead. She searched her purse for the 100th time, checked her handbag again, then checked to see if it had fallen on the ground. The other customers behind her were getting impatient. Customers in the other lines were looking on. Concerned, it seemed as if a dark cloud had gathered over her. Just then, Jimmy noticed that she was holding something in her left hand between her two cell phones. "Excuse me, miss, is that the credit card between your cell phones?" Everything seemed to stand still at that moment. The rain clouds went away and the sun came out again. "Yes, it is. Thank you so much. What's your name, young man?" "It's Jimmy." "Jimmy Williams. That's a lovely name. Well, Jimmy, here's a $500 tip for helping me to find my credit card and doing such a fine job at packing my grocery." Jimmy was at a loss for words and was only able to mutter, "Thank you, miss," after he overcame the shock of being given such a generous tip. Lot of reading, students. 27. Which two persons were speaking at the beginning of the story? Which two persons were speaking? Jimmy and a customer. Two customers. A customer. No, it's A. Remember, they were out in the parking lot when he might have taken her bag out or her groceries. 28. What time does the supermarket open each day? If you remember, that was about 10:15, and he said they would have been open a little past 1 hour, so they would have opened at 9. Number 29. Mr. Avery is most likely the who. Remember when Jimmy went back from taking the customer's grocery out and that nice scent from what Mr. Avery was using to clean welcomed him? So Mr. Avery must have been the janitor, which is B. Number 30. Which text structure is most evident in paragraphs 3 and 4? Paragraphs 3 and 4. So you have to go back. Remember, once you're not remembering what's there, you need to go back. Let's look at the paragraphing. So this is paragraph 1. Let's go paragraph 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 4. Alright, so what we find, remember that's when the lady lost her, couldn't find her credit card. Jimmy helped her. So for that, number 30, the most evident text structure is at C, which was problem and solution. They had problems, Jimmy helped to solve them. Which element best describes the first two lines of the story? There was a dialogue between Jimmy and that customer. So 31 is A. 32. She searched her purse for the 100th time. No, nobody will be searching their purse 100 times. Is an example of which figure of speech? Grossly exaggerating. So she was, I'm having tongue tie. That's exaggerating, right? Nobody's gonna search that thing 100 times. 33. In which paragraph can the climax be found? The climax of the story, wrapping up, the high point coming up. All right, where is the climax of the story? And this is 33. Let's go back and see where was that. The climax would be in paragraph 3. Yeah, the climax, whole heap of things. Climax, paragraph 3. Tell me if you have something different, guys, and that's at B. Moving on to 34, guys, are just basically halfway, a little over halfway of the paper, you know. Wow, a lot of reading. Which is the most important takeaway from the story? Always be patient. Jimmy's observant. Learn be helpful has its reward. Yeah, that's true. Was he always an observant child throughout the story? 34. What do you think? I am thinking C. Though being helpful had its reward, but he was always observing everything that's happening. That's how we really picked up that the lady could not find the credit card, and that's how we also found where the credit card was. 2 sources are given about different items people use to sweeten their beverages. Read the 2 sources, then use the information to answer items 35 to 42. Here is source 1, sweeteners. So we have the different types of sweeteners. First column, then the cost, blood sugar impact, carbohydrates per 100 gram, calories per 100 gram, and ease of digestion. Alright, so have a look. This is source 1. And it has to do with sweeteners. Sweeteners. Let's look at source 2. This one is honey versus sugar. Do we need to read them, or we just go back and look for our answers? You need to read. So having looked at that, read this one. Honey versus sugar. According to the Mayo Clinic, there's no significant health advantage to substituting honey for sugar. Both affect blood sugar levels and both count towards your daily added sugar intake. Honey may offer benefits for coughs and wound healing, but in a diabetes eating plan, neither offers an advantage, and both should be used in moderation and counted as carbohydrate. Key differences. Flavor is that honey has more potent flavor than sugar, meaning you may use a smaller amount for sweetness. Blood sugar, both honey and sugar will raise your blood sugar levels. When to choose honey? For coughs, honey is a safe and effective remedy for coughs and can soothe the throat. As a flavor enhancer, its strong flavor allows you to use less of it, potentially reducing your overall added sugar intake. For skin applications, honey may be used on the skin to treat minor wounds and burns. Now, when to take caution? For diabetes, honey offers no specific advantage over sugar for those managing diabetes. It must still be consumed in moderation. Added sugar intake. Honey is considered as added sugar, and both men and women should limit their intake to the recommended amounts set by organizations like the American Heart Association. For overall dietary health, especially if you have diabetes, it's important to use any added sweetener, including honey, sparingly, meaning not overusing, just a little. While honey can be a flavorful alternative and has some specific benefits, it doesn't offer a free pass from sugar's impact on your diet. Students, it's a lot of reading, makes you tired. Which text feature is most likely used in source 2? Text feature, source 2, source 2. Right away we're seeing lots of bullet points, so that would be bullets. Bullet points. And that's at B. A lot of reading. Oh my God. 36. Which of the following is an accurate statement? Let's look at them. A says honey's advantage is more medicinal than a sweetener. B says artificial sweeteners are cheaper than and therefore better. C says sugar does not have a significant impact on blood sugar. And D says sugar is easily digested by the body and has very little calories. So now you'd have to come back up here to look at source 1 for the digestion mentioned down there for sweetener, which is what we're calling sugar. Ease on digestion, artificial sweetener. Sugar requires more processing by the body, so it's not easy on digestion for sugar. So we know it can't be D. So for 36, honey's advantage is more medicinal than a sweetener. Remember, you can use it for wounds and burns as well as other things. Alright. How would source 1 provide an advantage to a student conducting a research? A says it will provide a quick and easy way to determine the accuracy of the information. B, to find detailed explanation. C, to compare and contrast information. Compare and contrast, because they can look at the table to see all that it will do, how it will affect digestion, the calories, the carbohydrate, blood sugar impact, the cost, and all of this. So they can compare and contrast the different items and how they will affect the user. 38. What is meant by sparingly as used in the final paragraph in source 2? Remember, we did say a small amount. You can't use too much if you're using it sparingly. 39. Which conclusion can be drawn using evidence from both sources? So A says sugar is most unhealthy of all the sweeteners. B, sweetener should be used in small amounts. We shouldn't go any further. That's it. Use them in small amount. Honey is most flavorful of all the sweeteners. It is true, but it's from both sources that we need to draw the conclusion. Alright, so it's gonna be B. BB. 40. Which advice would be best for someone who has diabetes? Use honey to sweeten beverages. Use artificial sweeteners. Limit the amount of sweetener used in beverages or beverages. That's C. So whether you're going to use honey or sweetener, whatever you're using, limit the amount. Alright? Not limiting the amount you drink. If you drink one bottle but it's full of sugar or sweetener, you could be doing more damage than using say 10 bottles with limited sweetener. So limited. 41. According to source 1, which sweetener is easy to digest but may lead to illness if used for extended periods? So easy to digest but could cause a problem. 41. Which one is that in source 1? For this we need to go back. Alright. Easy to digest. Easy for the body to digest. Causes a slow rise in blood sugar level. Let's look for where else it says easy to digest, but long-term daily use has been linked to a high risk of that. Alright. Artificial sweetener, very little impact on blood sugar levels. Cause a slower rise in blood sugar levels. Requires more. So we have to look at the two that says easy to digest. So we're looking at artificial sweetener and honey. And artificial sweetener would be because impact on blood sugar. Let's see if that's it anyway. Low, average, high. The cost is, oh, that's the cost. Where are we again? 41. Let me see. 41 is where we're at. Yeah, so which one from source 1 is easy to digest but may lead to illness if used for extended period? Oh, down the bottom there it had mentioned extended period, so it's artificial sweetener. That's C. 42. To which group of persons is the information contained in both sources most useful? Health conscious people. If you're health conscious, this is for you. That's C. 42 is C. Let's look. I bet it's another reading. I know. My God. Read the passage carefully, then use it to answer items 43 to 48. If you have not yet subscribed, this is the time. If you have not made a comment, do it now. If you have not liked, don't watch any further before doing so. Alright, you're watching Learning with Teacher M in this video. 2026 PEP 6 CBT or curriculum based language arts past paper, language arts test, PEP exam. Alright, let's go. New school. 13 subjects. This is a repeat paragraph and I don't remember the year, but this paper, not the entire paper, this passage is a repeat. 13 subjects. 13 different teachers. A deep sigh escaped Terry's lips as she wondered how she would be able to cope with the pressure of being a high school student. She looked at the book list once again and noticed that it listed 4 novels for English literature plus another one for poetry. 5 textbooks for one subject. Another sigh. Then her shoulders went limp. Tears began to gather at the corner of her eyes. She quickly wiped them away with the back of her hand so no one would notice. She felt weak, so she had to sit down. There was a sea of students seated on slab benches under the lignum vitae trees. They seemed excited about being in high school. Terry did not feel the same way. She wanted to return to the comfort of her primary school. The bell rang at 7:55 a.m. and all the students moved towards the auditorium. It was spacious on the inside and more importantly, the auditorium was cooled by a large air-conditioned unit. The auditorium was a large blue and white building with a very high ceiling. There were brown folding chairs laid out in 4 sections. The chairs had the words HCHS printed on the back. There was a stage at the front of the auditorium and a balcony to the left of the stage. 6th form students were sitting in the balcony while the principal and teachers were on the stage. The smell of the new uniforms filled the air. Everyone was looking neat and bright-eyed. It made Terry feel good to be a part of the group. The principal got up. She was a tall, slender woman with a warm smile that made you feel welcome. When she began speaking, she won Terry over with her words of welcome. Her words were calm and reassuring like a mother to a child that was afraid. Terry felt a little better. Ladies of Hartford City High, welcome to our family. Your journey to achieving great things begin here. Give yourselves a round of applause for the hard work you put in so that you could earn a place here. As our motto says, after the battle, the reward. Welcome. The auditorium erupted with cheers from the new students. It was then that Terry realized that grade 7 was not something to fear. A warm feeling filled her belly and she felt confident and ready to take on a new chapter of her life. Lot of reading. Wow. 43. In which month of the event, are the events in the story most likely to have taken place? September. Opening of school, new school. Which 2 paragraphs have the most evidence of the setting? That's where, they were putting up things, where they were, what was happening. Alright? 44. Is it paragraph 1 and 2? Yeah, that's where they describe everything happening, as in where, the place, in the auditorium and all of that. So paragraphs 1 and 2 is at A. Who is telling the story? Is it Terry? No, she would be saying I and me. Is it Terry's best friend? No. Is it the first person? No. Is it the third person? The person is from outside of the story. So it's a third person narrator outside of the story. In which paragraph is the most action, or in which paragraph is the action most intense? That's 46. All right. So is it paragraph 1, 2, 3, or 4? Most intense. Where is the paragraph most intense? More action taking place. We didn't even number the paragraphs. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can see it's at 4. Remember right there, intense coming up. So it's paragraph 4. If you remember that paragraph where the principal came up. So that's D. What is an example of figurative language? Alright, the smell of new uniforms, a deep sigh escape. Deep sigh escaping, giving that thing life. That's B. 47. In which paragraph does the mood of the story begin to change? This is 48. Where does it begin to change? Where it begins to change. Alright, so it's paragraph 3 after the setting, then everything else begins to change. So paragraph 3, where's paragraph 3? Paragraph 3 is at C. You have to go back and read, maybe, you know, guys. Oh God, another lengthy thing again. Read the poster below carefully, then use the information to answer items 49 to 53. This is the JIS Heritage Competition, so you can look at it a little, and then we will move on. I'm gonna try to see if I can make all of the poster whole. Here it is. So look at it for a little and then let's move on. We'll have to come back to find what we need. Which competition can the primary school students enter? Any students of registered tertiary? Ages 13 to 17, that's not primary. 9 to 12 is primary. It's the essay competition. So let's go down. Essay is at B. 49 is B. Let's look at 50. Which or what is the latest date for submitting the entry to the competition? Latest date. The date, that's the deadline, October 24, 2025. Let's look for October 24, and that's at A. So that's the deadline, the date, final date. Number 51, where can interested students find entry form? GIS website. That's at C. How many categories are available for the poster competition? We're at 52. How many categories do they have? So you have essay, poster, photo. Alright. No, that's not it, you know. Category is writing, then category here again. So you have one that is writing, illustrated and digital, that could be 1 or 2. And any student of registered photo competition. Alright. So let's go 1, 2, or 3 thereabout. Category. That's number 52. How many categories? There are 2. You have digital and you have the photo, and you have not photo. What is this? You have digital, which is photo or poster competition, and you have the writing competition. Those are the categories. All right. 53. Which of the following age groups is most likely to be tertiary students? 18 and older. Tertiary having to do with going into college and university. All right, another reading. Oh my goodness. This one is for 54 to 60. Very good. Very good. Final. Read the poem below, then use it to answer items 54 to 60. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. You're watching Learning with Teacher M. Anna. Or Anna. While she was too young to crawl, my pride would picture her sunlit outside, playing with flowers like every poet's child. The frills of her pink dress waving in the gentlest whim of her father's observing. It was a calm and quiet mental scene. Instead, now she leads at me off kitchen counters. I glimpse the little hands longing for my back. And in that stiffening split second, I prayed she won't miss. Then I feel her hard fingers, her sharp nails wrapped around my neck. I make to unhorse her with a wild shrug. She thinks it's a game. Do it again, Daddy. And like a fool, Daddy does it again. I've given up the prospect of pink dresses and flowers. I let her kick her somersaults off my stomach, hardly noticing now the scratches on my arms. I think I must endure her thorny assaults. And yet, when she is curled up in sleep like a coma or a comma, I can finally complete my stanzas. How are Anna and the poet related? Father and daughter. Daddy, do it again. Daddy does it again. Which figure of speech is used in lines 5 to 6? Lines 5 to 6, lines 5 to 6. So here's line 5 and 6. The frills of her pink dress waving in the gentlest whim. Frills of her pink dress waving in the gentlest wind. 55. What figure of speech? It's personification, giving life. Alright. Which stanza or stanzas presents Anya as a wild animal? Wild animal, wild animal, wild animal stanza. I pray she won't miss. Then she lead wrap her neck. I make to unhorse her with a wild shrug. Do it again, Daddy. I've given up. Alright, so stanza 1 is that. It's more like stanza 2. More like stanza 2. Let's see. 56 would be stanza 1 and 2, I think. 56. No, stanza 1 is just more like the introduction. 1 and 2, no. Stanza, trying to go fast, guys. I've run out of space so many times I had to start this thing on different things. So stanza 1, no, stanza 2, I've given up stomach hardly, no scratches. Stanza 2 and 3. So 56, stanzas 2 and 3 is at D. 57. Which best describes the relationship between the poet and Anna? Relationship. Neglectful, no, never neglected her. Respectful, yeah, but not most or best. Harmonious, not most or best. Ambivalent, mixed feelings, mixed emotions, alright? 58. How does the poet prefer to think of Anna? Kicking somersaults. 58 says, B says, leaping off kitchen counters, playing with flowers like a wild animal. Like a wild animal. So it's more like playing with flowers. You rather seeing her going back to pink dress and flowers. Alright. 59. In which stanza does the mood of the poem change for the second time? Which stanza? So after all of that excitement, in stanza 4, I think it changed again. Stanza 4, so stanza 1, stanza 2, stanza 3, stanza 4. It changed again in stanza 4. You might have to go back and read, guys. Just that I need to finish this thing right now. 60. Oh my goodness, put your hands together. We're at number 60. What a long paper. PEP. Mighty. Number 60. Which is the most significant theme in the poem? A says family relationships. B says unconditional love. C says love and forgiveness. D says joy and pain. I think it's unconditional love. Alright. So let's continue to watch. Look out now for the mental ability 2026 paper for grade 6. So if you've done it, go back to watch and see how you think you would have done. And if you're preparing for your exam, watch these videos to help you prepare. Again, thank you for watching Learning with Teacher M. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one, guys.